I am joined by EMAC as per usual on these Sundays. EMAC, how's your weekend going?
Oh, it's been one for the books, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, here and there. I had a nice little home run pick last night, though.
You got one?
Yeah, Nelson Cruz.
Not great. Not great. Pulling away. Pulling away. I don't like it.
You didn't watch?
Huh?
You didn't watch?
No, I see nothing on Saturdays. I get as
Nelson,
far away from everything as possible.
Nelson Cruz had more than one home run last night.
Did he have more than two?
He had more than two.
You got a triple dong yesterday?
I got a triple dong yesterday.
Jesus.
Yes!
No, I had no idea. All right, well, we're all playing for second now. Wow. Kudos. I think that's the first triple dong we've ever had.
It is this year. I don't know if you guys had one last year.
Not that I could recall. I think we only had doubles. Well, kudos to you. I hate you.
You were getting a little too close there, Josh. I had to, put some distance there.
I'm at least gonna put my foot on the throat of the rest of these goobers, but you can. I don't think I'm going to be catching you right now. All right, Shaqiri up first kick. Goal number 1. Liverpool is in a shootout right now for the Community Shield against Manchester City. So if you are a Man City fan, get out of the chat. No, I'm just kidding. Well, let's hit the plugs first, and then we'll get into this slate. Live Before Lock is the promo code. 50% off your first month with us. Any monthly package you choose, including packages with Fantasy Cruncher. If you want to get Osmo Plus and check out all of the content we have across all of the sports that are offered, that's how you do it. Live Before Lock, one big word, and you can get 50% off. I'm going to slowly talk until... Okay, 1-1. We are also brought to you during our Live Before Lock shows by FantasyDraft. FantasyDraft is our newest sponsor for our Live Before Lock shows. They are mixing things up now where there's no rake on contest. You pay a fee monthly in lieu of that, and all of the entry fees then go out and get paid out into the tournament. For a limited time, if you want to try out FantasyDraft, you can get a 7-day free trial on the first $1,000 in entry fees. You won't pay a cent. Go to FantasyDraft.com, use the promo code AWESOMO, and you can get that 7-day free trial. And Liverpool didn't score there, so sad face to me. EMAC, let's talk this slate. You ready?
I'm good to go.
For those that don't know, for those that aren't aware and were big Jake Odorizzi fans today, he has been scratched from today's start. Devin Smeltzer going in place of Odorizzi. That's a bummer for me. I liked Odorizzi at that price tag. I wrote him up in Spotlight Pitchers. But what are you going to do? The guy that we need to talk about first and foremost is not Justin Verlander. Because I don't think that there's a person on the planet that thinks that Justin Verlander is some kind of a bad play today. What I need to talk about is 35% owned on DraftKings Drew Smyly. How do you feel about Mr. Smyly here in this matchup?
All right, let me get there. That's a little higher than I was expecting to see. Let's see. His change of scenery has been nice for him. So he does have that going for him. He is taking on the White Sox, who will not have a designated hitter. They're going to have Ronaldo Lopez swinging the stick. They do have Eloy Jimenez back. However, Yohan Moncada on the DL. They actually have Tim Anderson in a primo spot there batting second, but he's a little spendy on most sides. He generally does well against lefties, but we're looking at Ryan Goins, Yolmer Sanchez, John Jay batting cleanup for you.
Oh, he's like the opposite of a cleanup hitter.
Yeah, cleanup on aisle 5 hitter, but
that was good.
But
I like that.
In any event, I can see where we're getting. So if you want to do a bit of a leverage against him, for me, it would be Anderson, Abreu, probably Jimenez, and McCann would be the 4 I would go with.
Okay.
Now they're a little spread out, but that's okay. We're doing a little bit of home run hunting at this point.
Yeah, this is another one of those spots, and I think we've been seeing it a lot like over the past week or so, where a pitcher is picking up a ton of ownership on DraftKings, and so is the opposite stack. We have the White Sox right now, 9.3% aggregate ownership, 4th highest percentage on DK. So You either have Smiley, you either have the White Sox. Doesn't appear that a lot of people are doing the opposite of that. Craziness. I would prefer to have the White Sox and have 0 Smiley, but we'll see how that goes. I'm running crunches now.
I would think it might be because of our viewership. People are learning how to appropriately leverage.
I think so. Well, I think that our viewership should pay slightly closer attention and not have Drew Smiley, but that's neither here nor there. 35% Drew Smiley is too much Drew Smiley today. That's my opinion.
What would you think would be more appropriate?
Ownership?
Yeah.
I mean, the 20 that Joe Musgrove has seems a bit more realistic to me. I would rather have Musgrove than Smiley, even independent of their ownership. I just really don't like having pitchers in Philadelphia.
No, that's fair. That's fair. You know what was good last night, or bad last night, is having position players throw in Arizona. Gerardo Parra gave up, I want to say, 5 walks and 4 earned runs, or 4 walks and 5 earned runs. He didn't get an out. They had to turn to Brian Dozier to come in.
Oh. Ooh.
There was all of a sudden 7 extra runs in that game. I was watching from my phone, just watching the box score, but yikes, that was a mess. But I was thinking of Philadelphia with Roman Quinn pitching and Vincent Velasquez in the outfield.
How did Dozier do?
Dozier, he got 3 outs. So the game ended. I think he gave up 1 or 2.
Okay. Curious. Yeah, I see. Like I said at the start of this, I see essentially nothing on Saturdays. I'm just away. I had some incredibly good, authentic Mexican food yesterday. That was good.
Really?
Very happy. Yeah. Some sort of slow cooked pork. Oh, it was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
Okay, so we've touched on Smiley. Let's get the overarching thoughts. How do you feel about Justin Verlander? 12K on FanDuel, 12K on DraftKings, $59 on Yahoo. Pretty clearly the top. Liverpool loses. Pretty clearly the top arm from a production standpoint today. How do you feel about him going up against your Mariners?
Would it shock you to know the Mariners did not get a hit yesterday?
That much I do know.
Combined no-hitter. That's the second time it's happened to them. It happened to them in the Angels, or against the Angels as well. So, yeah, Justin Verlander, expensive, but worth it.
Yeah.
This is, if you're going to spend, that's the way to go. Unless you're playing on Yahoo, you do not have to worry about getting hitters in Texas or in Colorado.
Right.
So it's entirely different, which is probably a function of why we're seeing a lot more people than I expected on Toronto. But it's a spot where I think you can earmark your salary cap towards Verlander. He is, let's run through the sites. Come on, filters.
12, 12, and 59.
Oh, I was looking for popularity. So 38%, number 1 on DK. FanDuel, he is 24%. That is also number 1. And then over on Yahoo, he is number 1 at 40%. He is $59. Usually in a situation like this, he'd be 61 or 62. So tiny bit of a discount, but not really one that you're bragging about.
Speaking of ownership, we just got an update as you were saying that. So might want to, not that I expect anything to be like dramatically changing right now. Verlander up a couple more points on DK, but.
And he's up 2 ticks on FanDuel, and then on Yahoo, he's up 5 ticks.
There you go. There you go. So for anybody listening that is a premium sub, ownership just got the old update. Alex has been updating his projections over and over the past hour plus. So that's where we stand. Do you expect to be paying up for Verlander today? You're going to be around the field, over the field, under the field?
I was in my mind thinking 35% was where I wanted to go.
Okay. I'll take any amount. I hope that I have at least the field, but I'll take anything. If I don't get as much as the field, I hope that it's going to Shane Bieber in volume. Bieber only at 9%. I think he's going to go a little bit overlooked today because of that price tag. What do you think of Bieber?
I think it's funny. I saw a little article that talked about, it showed a back of a baseball card. It wasn't Topps, something upper Deck, is that one of the ones, or Diamond somebody or whatever? But they so it's Shane Bieber, but in the paragraph they talk and they call him Justin.
I think I saw a tweet about that earlier today.
It's like, oops. I think he's in a I think he's a phenomenal pitcher. I think it's a tough spot going against the Angels, but let's look at that Angels lineup. Did we get any Sunday gifts? Nope. There's Trout, Otani, Calhoun, Upton, Fletcher, Rengifo, Stassi. So not the easiest of lineups. 3.6 implied run total. We know that the Angels do not strike out a ton. However, again, Bieber is pretty good as a pitcher. I want to see today square
major struggles against lefties. So other than that, he is dirty.
That is the big concern there. A little bit worse at home than on the road. Who cares? Let's see. Against Houston in his last start, he won 108 pitches. Gave up 2 earned runs. He had a complete game shutout against Toronto the game before on 102 pitches. Made it 5 2/3 against the Indians, 103, Minnesota 109, at Cincy 103, at Baltimore 112. I mean, we're talking Trevor Bauer type pitch count numbers here. Yeah. So you're going to get 100 pitches.
Yeah,
your pitch per dollar when you start thinking about it is okay. It just gets a little tough going against the Angels, who do not strike out a lot. Let me get to the Angels.
Yeah, they don't strike out
roster. Their current roster against righties strikes out. Today's roster strikes out at 18.5% over the last 2 seasons, but that is Brian Goodwin at 26 and Stassi at 31. Both carry a pretty heavy at bat numbers there. Although if either one of those guys wasn't in it, this would be about 17%. So you'd be like, shit, not very many.
So who is your favorite non-Verlander pitcher today?
It has to be Musgrove, but I'm debating if Robbie Cano is my home run call of the day.
Ooh, okay. That is not a name I have written down, but what the hell do I know about picking dongs? You're picking triple dongs. I'm out here playing checkers, man. You're playing chess.
We'll see. I think it's going to be Musgrove on a price per dollar. The Mets are actually not as bad. I mean, with McNeil and Alonso, they've really stepped up their game this year, it's actually kind of impressive. And then the addition of Wilson Ramos. Now Ramos isn't in the lineup today, and Alonso is not either. But Conforto, relatively solid in lefty-righty matchups. Gets a little tough after that. J.D. Davis, not really the best. You feel like he's going to hit for power, but yeah, not really. Ahmed Rosario gets a home run when you least expect it. Perhaps that will be today. But really, he's just got to work his way around McNeil, Conforto, and the ghost of Robinson Cano.
The ghost of Robinson Cano. He really is kind of the ghost of Robinson Cano at this point.
Well, until he had that 3 home run game. And I said this is funny because I said this yesterday when I was picking Cruz. And then a few days later, Cruz had one. Former Mariner teammates both like to enhance their workouts, shall we say. I think that was a virtual nod across the country to each other. Did you ever see, did I ask you this one, Big Trouble in Little China?
Never saw it.
Oh, great movie. You actually would appreciate that. Bloodsport, have you seen that one?
Yes. I've seen Little Trouble in Big China, though. Different movie.
That sounds like a porno.
I don't know. I'm just making this up.
Okay.
Well, you know, 23% Adrian Hauser on that crunch makes me do a little something sick.
How many pitches do you think he'll get today? How many innings do you have him in there for?
4.
Okay, that's fair. He went 69 pitches in his last outing. Nice. 16, 26, 21, 92, 87. Those 92 and 87 were July 15th and July 6th. So, again, he's been kind of bouncing in and out. They wanted to try him out as a starter here. So, on a dollar per pitch on DK at 5,000, that's an intriguing option. Who are you spending on if you're going that? I don't even really want to say that heavily. Who do you think is who is coming out in your stacks that have Hauser?
Let's find out.
Is it Verlander perhaps, or is it Bats?
I was equal to the field on Verlander. I just rolled back Hauser a little bit. Actually, didn't even move him. Kept the exact same exposure. That's fantastic. Who am I over the field on? Oh, I guess just Hauser. Great. The way to do it. Yeah, I agree with whoever's running our chat right now. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. So from a stacks perspective, Blue Jays, wow, White Sox, didn't expect that. I need to get more Indians and Astros though, so it's gonna take some manual manipulation.
There's a joke in there, but I'm not going.
I like it. Thoughts on Sonny Gray today? Only 14% ownership, but at 8,100, feels like it's a pretty good spot, and the Braves aren't exactly running out the best lineup in the world.
Insulting price point.
Yeah. I mean, it would be really insulting if it was 9,900, but it would be insulting someone else.
I was hoping to get, I should have messaged Adam. I don't know what his Sonny Gray take is today other than play him. Let's look at that lineup.
Yeah, I think we can safely guess it.
Sorry, I'm just refreshing because we got a bunch of lineups in since I last did it. And we do have projection update for those of you behind the paywall. Well, we do have all the early games in, but if you haven't done one recently, you might want to just put that in one more time. Let me get over here to
Braves lineup does not exactly look scary today.
All right, we are Adam Duvall, the resurgent Adam Duvall batting cleanup. Is it Austin Riley or Anthony Riley? Austin Riley. Austin batting 5th, Camargo 8th, Flowers. Yeah, this isn't really that tough. No Freddie Freeman. They do have Albies and Acuna batting 1, 2. Markakis is out with the fractured wrist. It feels like somebody else is missing. Is Dansby Swanson hurt? I haven't thought of him in a long time.
I think so.
That would make sense. So, yeah, that's not really the toughest.
I admittedly don't pay too much attention to health.
Their current hitters strike out in today's lineup in the last 2 years, strike out at 27.5% against righties. Over the last 2 seasons against righties, Sonny Gray has a 23.5% strikeout rate. As Joey Tribbiani once said, put those hands together, folks.
Oh, man. All right.
You remember that episode?
I certainly do.
Something about peanut butter and jelly and put those hands together.
I certainly do. Wow, I cannot get rid of Adrian Hauser here. This is not optimal. Not optimal at all. I don't want that much Adrian Hauser, you know? Doesn't strike me as a guy that I'm going to need. But I do feel like I'm going to have at least a little bit. I didn't have any real crazy pitching exposures. Everything seems to be relatively normal on DraftKings. It just feels really weird to be ready at 12:20. So I'm really excited for whenever the news comes in that ruins my day. I do have 21% Sonny Gray right now. So whoop whoop to me. It looks like I'm the new Sonny Gray whisperer.
Well, you know, Adam sometimes doesn't like him. He says one thing and does another. Side note, Adam doesn't ever say one thing and do another.
No, he does not.
And if he changes his mind on something, he's always in Slack saying, okay, I thought this, but now I'm doing X. He's incapable of lying. It's fun. It's funny, but not funny when you're on a show and you need him to, you know, do something for you. He's like, nope, never used it. Okay, thanks for filling the air. I needed that.
Man,
do you want to talk about this? No, I don't. Adam, he's not the best in the business for nothing.
Man, I'm getting a lot of Blue Jays, but I don't really feel bad about that.
Let's talk about them.
Yeah.
Spotlight hitters and stacks, they were one of the teams that I put in. So they're going against, and I said my condolences to fans of both teams for this one. So Tom Eichelman is going to be starting. He should probably be back in the minors. My guess is he goes about 4 innings. Thus far, 22 2/3 innings. He's allowed 7 home runs. Fits right in there with Baltimore, and that's on pace. He would lead the league with 60 home runs allowed if he went 200 innings. He has 17 strikeouts. On the other side, you know, we have Sean Reed Foley. Now, I'm okay going to him a little bit. Just because it's Baltimore, but I'm okay taking some of the Baltimore hitters against him as well. But back to Toronto, the guys we want are their legacy guys. So Bichette, Biggio, and Guerrero, and then I think you can look to Gurriel, Gricha, Teoscar Hernandez, and even the Smoke Monster. I know that. Oh, now I'm seeing Jimmy Yacobonis. Baltimore's doing a bullpen day today.
Yeah, Yacobonis is the opener, and Eshelman is coming in, I believe.
Okay. And then I remember them talking about a third guy, but basically it's all craptastic righties. So don't, just enjoy Baltimore. Now, Baltimore's appropriately priced on Yahoo. So they're going to be a little, my guess is a little less popular there because people can go to all of the games on the main set, contest set. So I think people are going to go to Colorado and Texas. So that makes them a little better. They're fairly priced on DK. Not a lot of profit margin still left there, but this is a really good matchup for them. And so you're hoping they reach their upside. If they have a middling game, it's not going to help us at all. And then on FanDuel, it's buy one, get one, basically. It's
Buy one, get one. I like that. Ooh, 11% Sonny Gray on FanDuel. I don't like being over the field on Sonny Gray on both sites because today is pretty clearly the day that he is going to be bad Sonny Gray, and I'm going to pay for it. I could really do without that. I'm taking a look at top stack. I think I'm like almost done, like essentially ready to paste in all of my information. I'm shocked by that, but I'll take it. Houston looking good. I need to bump up the old, well, maybe not. Probably need to fade the Brewers a little bit more on FanDuel, but otherwise, I'm feeling pretty good. What do you think of the Brewers today? They seem to be going pretty over-owned per our top stack tool.
I didn't think a lot about them. They are going against Darvish. I guess Yelich, Moustakas, and Grandal would be the guys that you would want.
Yeah, certainly has some issues against left-handed power.
Travis Shaw, 20. Is that am I on FanDuel? Travis Shaw, 2,300 on DK. Hey, I don't know what you're going to do with the extra money. You're going to have Verlander and somebody else, but
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, four implied run total. We do have a 6 to 9 mile an hour breeze coming in from center field. It's going to be 85 at first pitch with about 50% humidity there in Chicago. So relatively, just fine.
Yeah, it makes sense to me given Darvish's struggles with lefties. I'm not caught off guard by their ownership, but doesn't bear out in the top stack tool. So I did give them a little bit of a haircut. If they're going to be that overowned and I'm getting them equal to the field, that just feels like an easy spot for me to go ahead and replace them with somebody else. So DraftKings lineups are uploaded. What world is this? 12:24. I'm going to have my lineups in before we make dong picks. I'm going to have plenty of time to concentrate to make my pick to try to come after you. I can't believe you got a triple dong yesterday. Oh. That really stings, man.
It was, excuse me, something else. I'm looking at guys going to get Jaime Barria.
Yeah.
Now, he does have some reverse splits.
Does give up some power to righties.
A lot. And that means that Yasiel Puig and Franmil Reyes are definitely in play.
Yes, they are. They may or may not have been names I wrote down earlier.
Oh, really?
Okay. Oh, really? Once I realized that I was in the basement for this dong contest, I started to actually prepare. You can see the fruits of my labor in all of the green marks on the dong sheet. They just don't happen to be enough marks in my favor to catch you. But it certainly was not a problem catching the rest of the goons. I got that pretty easily. And I will continue to run away from the pack. But looks like I'm playing for the silver medal.
You were getting a little too close for me in correct percentage. I had to do something about that.
Although the good news is that triple dong doesn't matter all that much.
Yeah, it doesn't count, does it?
I mean, it's just one in terms of correct picks.
Yeah,
which is very helpful.
I have had two. I went 15 days straight without one, and then I had yesterday and Jordan the day before.
Yeah, didn't need you to get that one on Friday either. FanDuel lineups in. DraftKings lineups in. What a world. What a Sunday. We've got 35 minutes. Nope, we have 40 minutes until lock. We're going to be able to answer all sorts of questions today.
Are you looking at Ronaldo Lopez at all against Philly?
I have 7% on DraftKings. I have 0 on FanDuel. So, sort of. I guess I'm paying up more for pitching outside of Adrian Hauser. So I'm slightly under the field on Musgrove, way under the field on Drew Smiley. I've got a little bit more Sonny Gray, a little bit more Chirinos, a little bit more Caleb Smith, a little bit more Bieber. We talk about Noah Syndergaard at 10-5.
Just looking at him right now saying, you know who we haven't mentioned? As I was going to see who was pitching for the Mets, I'm like, how have I forgotten? Yeah, I'm not overly interested in him.
Same. He's just too expensive for this matchup. Pirates don't strike out at all. Syndergaard, not exactly like a big-time strikeout guy. I expect him to pitch well. I don't know if that's going to be terribly advantageous in DFS terms when Justin Verlander is $1,500 more expensive and might strike out 3 times as many guys as Syndergaard today. Because it wouldn't shock me if Syndergaard K'd 5 and Verlander K'd 15.
This is for our premium chat. They had asked me what I thought about Smeltzer and taking Royals against him. I mean, he's only got 80 major league hitters faced. He's given up 200 ISO to lefties. That's 27 at bats. 280 to righties. That's 55 at bats. So, we like to see that, but you're really looking at Soler, Cuthbert, and probably Merrifield. Yeah. I don't mind them as fillers. I don't mind them as one-offs or pairs, but I don't think I could get to 5 or 4.
Yeah, I actually have a lot of 4-man Royal stacks on FanDuel. I don't have that same sort of story on DraftKings. So let's take a look at that. See where we stand here. Smeltzer against the Royals. Let me pull up Smeltzer's stats as well. I didn't really do much digging once that happened. Smeltzer over the past 2 seasons, well, I mean, this guy does not have a big sample. He's gotten blasted by righties. Hasn't really been all that outstanding against lefties from a power perspective, but just a 258 xWOBA. Like you mentioned, the righties. So give me some Dozier, some Soler, some Cuthbert. I don't know if Bubba Starling ever wants to actually be something. Today would be a great day to do that. Yeah, I apparently I have some Royals. So if that goes well, yay me. I feel like I don't want to I want to walk that back, but I don't want to go through the effort of updating my lineups.
There will probably be something that has you update it, whether you want to or not.
I can only hope that that's not true.
All right, I'm running my 4-4 crunch. I'm curious to see what happens. I did not cap my pitchers, so I wanted to see where it would fit everybody.
Oh, nice.
I did cap my my teams.
Okay.
Just because that's how I control my batters. Because yesterday I ended up with 46% Aaron Judge because he came in on most of my 5-0s, 4-0s, and 4-3s. So I wish that would have been Nelson Cruz, who I only had 12% of. I ended up losing last night. Somehow I lost 3 winner-take-alls in the last 20 minutes of game time. I don't know what happened there. Assuming somebody caught me with a random Arizona stack. But it was sad. I was winning big, and I ended up losing. Not good times.
12:30 p.m. This is the midway point of this show, which means, unfortunately, for everybody else other than EMAC, it's dong pick time. Here are the current standings. Man, this is brutal. EMAC in the lead, 25 total dongs, 22 correct picks. You have a double dong, you have a triple dong. I hope that I don't ever have to add a line for 4 dongs. In second right now, Jake and I are both tied at 19 dongs. He has an extra correct pick made because I have 2 double dongs, but my pick rate is higher. I have made 10 less picks than Jake. So we're going to call it me in second, Jake in third. Spags has 16 dongs, so he is 3 back in that rate, and he has the 4th highest pick rate. Randone at this point now, 3 correct picks out of the 20 that he's made. He's never going to be able to catch up from a totals perspective. But he is hot on the heels of Chris Spags in terms of correct picks from a rate perspective. So we should see that soon enough. Emac, you are the leader in the clubhouse. Feel free to make your pick.
Oh boy. I want to go with Cano so bad, but I'm going to go with Bregman.
Bregman?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's not what I was expecting, but I don't think that is very problematic. I like the pick. He is 12th in the model.
Where's Cano?
75th.
Okay. All right. There we go.
All right. I am between two people right now. Let me look at one last thing, and I'll be able to give you my answer. What team are they on now?
Franmil?
There we go. Let's see. Okay, now I'm between two people. So I've got to narrow down to either Eloy Jimenez or Franmil Reyes. I don't really know which direction I want to go here. I take one last peek at Eloy's sort of history. Give me Franmil Reyes.
That's the good call.
Franmil Reyes 17th in the model, or 14th. Nope, 13th in the model. I'm bad at math.
Wait, where was Bregman? Oh, he was 12th.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So picks are in from you and I. I have got Franmil Reyes. You have Alex Bregman. I don't get the sense we're going to be getting any picks from Jake or Chris today, or other Chris, so this might be a two-man band for us, which is fine by me. Let those losers stay behind while I get a quadruple dong today from Franmil Reyes.
Where did you end up with Hauser?
23.
Okay. That's a good number. That's the number I have too.
Really? Yeah. I'm not confident for either one of us.
Well, I wanted to come in over the field, and I know sometimes you take some really strong stances, so I just was curious.
I expected to get to more Verlander, just so expensive. Not a lot of cheap guys. Probably would have needed another like 4K guy for that to really push up.
I got him at 50% when I ran it uncapped, or probably 56. I'm setting him at 50. That feels high, though.
If I opened this up and it said 75 Verlander for me, I'd be happy and move forward.
Yeah, my thinking of where that feels a lot. A lot of times that means I'm getting not the better stacks. I'm getting the teams I want, but it's not the players I want.
I'm very happy with my crunches. That's usually a sign that it's going to go poorly. I probably have a little bit too much ownership into the Astros on FanDuel right now, but that is not something that I find to be terribly problematic.
No, they were another team that made it in the Spotlight Hitters and Stacks article, which I'll drop that link there in the chat. You also can get the link to the Spotlight Pitchers article in that, though there will only be 2 pitchers to read about instead of 3.
I'll talk about another pitcher on here. Odorizzi was in when I wrote that. Just use that information about Odorizzi for tomorrow. Actually, I don't know. They probably don't play the Royals tomorrow.
All right,
I have no idea.
Houston, I said, so Tommy Milone is actually interesting. He only has a 4.4 ERA this season, a 1.1 whip. How many home runs do you think he's given up? He's gone 65 innings.
$14, $13,
15.
I should have went the other way.
That is a lot of home runs, but he doesn't have anybody on base when he's doing it.
So like Justin Verlander.
Yeah, that's where I said, hey, look for Springer, Altuve, and Bregman as the key guys, and then Yordan Alvarez. By the way, just 44 at bats in lefty-lefty matchups because hey, he's a rookie, but 462 ISO, and Malone in his last 105 lefty-lefty matchups as a 255 ISO to lefties. So did he make the lineup? Yes, he did. Batting cleanup. 5,700. Boy, there's some rookie love.
Yeah, for real.
Wow.
So let's talk about some of these more owned stacks right now. We have the Blue Jays as the most owned stack on DraftKings. They are also the most owned stack on FanDuel. What are you doing with the Toronto Blue Jays today against Baltimore?
I've capped him at 10%.
Okay.
And it's mostly a cost issue. And now I'm looking at my teams here with Verlander. So I actually get the key guys, well, 3 of the key guys plus Danny Jansen. But I get Verlander, Smiley, and then I get all the lefties for Milwaukee. I got a Verlander Bieber, which is kind of ugly, but it's got the Baltimore guys and Tampa Bay. I've got a Verlander Darvish with Toronto and Tampa Bay. So if I'm looking at my Verlander teams, and here's one with Hauser that comes in nicely with a Baltimore and a Minnesota one, the key guys on Minnesota. So it's not bad, but it's also not great getting to Verlander. But where's the offensive environments we really have to worry about today? I just don't see him really standing out.
Yeah, that makes sense. The biggest gap between top stack percentage and ownership looks to be the Houston Astros. And your dong pick. Well, actually, it's Houston on FanDuel. It's Minnesota on DraftKings. How do you feel about the Astros and Minnesota Twins? Both teams with almost 6-run implied totals.
The Astros again, I'm okay with. The top 4 or 5 guys would be where I would go, and I feel better as duos and trios against them. I mean, the Mariners bullpen is bad. For the love of God, they managed to trade 2 of their guys to the Nationals, which didn't really seem to help them when they were throwing out position players last night. But that just means the Mariners are that much worse.
Yeah,
and it's not good. They've allowed the 2nd most runs in the league behind Baltimore. So I would prefer Minnesota over Houston, but they're top 5 teams easily, and we have 18 on the slate. But
I have a pretty big fade going against the Twins today.
Interesting.
Actually, I have the biggest fade of any team I have for the Twins today.
Let me see where I came in. No, they're hitting my cap, so.
I have 1.1% aggregate on FanDuel, 1.6 on DraftKings. And I'm okay with that. I did not expect that to happen, but just given the way that Keller throws, he's not prone to getting completely blown up, doesn't give up a lot of power. I'm hoping that's a good avoid for me today. I think it's working out well. I have a lot more Royals than I do Twins, actually. Astros, on the other hand, are my 2nd most exposed team and the team that I am most over the field on. And that will never make me feel bad.
Premium Chat was asking my thoughts on Darvish on FanDuel. So I'm not playing there, but that doesn't mean I don't have an opinion, and I don't think he's going to be the guy I want. But it must be a price play.
Yeah,
so
he is 8,300.
He's 8,300. Yeah. Oof.
I have 13% right now. I prefer Chirinos, but I have no issue with Darvish on FanDuel.
Yeah, I think that's actually fair. I probably would go with Chirinos myself, but if you look at Chirinos' recent game logs, you're not going to be thrilled either. But he is facing the Marlins. This is a huge. It's 3,700 from Verlander. That is a big ask. To say, I'd rather play Verlander. Now, I would rather play Verlander, but I see how you're looking at Darvish. I think I would prefer Darvish over Sonny Gray. I still give Chirinos the slight nod. Oh, FanDuel, shout out. They've got Jake Odorizzi starting.
Ah, good. I prefer it. I would.
What his ownership's going to be in the contests?
Anything higher than 0 works for me. I have a similar amount of Gray and Darvish. It's a bigger gap between Gray and the public compared to Darvish in the public, but I prefer Chirinos to both guys. On FanDuel, at least. That's where I stand. So I have 4 guys in double digits on FanDuel. Verlander, Sonny Gray, Yu Darvish, Yanni Chirinos. So.
My Slack is frozen. That's weird.
Probably a benefit.
Do I like the Rays or Brewers more on FanDuel? I don't want to take the Rays against Caleb Smith. So definitely the Brewers, stick with the lefties. Blue Jays or
Rays or Blue Jays on FanDuel?
No. Rays or Brewers.
I have more Brewers, and the Brewers grade out better for me. So yeah, I would rather have the Brewers here. Blue Jays or Indians on FanDuel? I would rather have the Indians.
I think I would go with the Indians.
I have more Indians,
and I would play.
and it's an ownership play.
Yeah, I would play Puig and Reyes. I want the righty power against Berea.
As do I, as evidenced by my home run pick.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I really like that I got to 9% Oscar Mercado. That makes me happy. He's really unowned, so that'll make those stacks a little bit more unique. And 29% Francisco Lindor. Lindor Dong would be a very, 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 very good thing. He should hit righty in this spot.
You, damn it, I didn't want to do
Do we ever see switch hitters? Like, how often do we see them hitting not against the opposite side? Like, how do you think that Lindor would be better off hitting righty against Berea than lefty?
No, because they're not used to seeing righty.
That's true.
That's the biggest reason. I used to think that when I was younger, and I'm like, why don't they do this? It's because they're not used to seeing it that way. The hitter's not.
Sure. Makes some sense.
Did you see? You didn't see it, but Baker Mayfield last night.
Did he chug a beer or something?
He did. He not only chugged it, he bit the can, chugged it, turned around, and put his two thumbs back, pointing at the Lindor jersey that he had it because Lindor had a home run.
Nice.
It was all over Twitter, so I saw that.
I have bit open some cans and shotgun those beers in the past.
God, I've shotgun beers, but I've never bit them. I use a key or something.
It's oddly easy.
I'd be more worried about a nice cut down my lip or something that would need stitches.
So when as long as you're just driving your teeth forward, all you're doing is pushing metal in instead of out. If you try to like work the hole open a little bit more, you might get into some problematic issues. But yeah, it's shockingly easier than it seems. I remember the first time that I did it, just thinking like, dude, I can't bite through a can. What? I'm not a savage. It turns out it punctures super easy. Yeah. Always made for a good party trick.
I had a variety of other ones, but that was not one
of them. So did I. They were mostly not drinking related. Anyway, feel free to get some questions in if you're interested. Do we have any weather issues? Did you see anything that's standing out as problematic?
I haven't even looked.
Neither have I, because I just assumed it was fine. Maybe Cincinnati and Atlanta is a game you want to keep an eye on, but I'm not super worried about anything. Nothing should affect pitching. So,
no, I mean we got really. Was it Thursday or Friday where Atlanta got the rain sitting on top of it?
I don't remember.
It had like a 10% chance of rain, and it was pop-up shower right over the stadium. It was like they called the game after 7 innings.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that I'm worried about.
No, same. You getting any more exposures? Anything standing out as weird to you?
No, because I still feel weird crunching more than just my 4-4s until we have more news.
So. You don't want to put the work in yet.
Well, now I'm working on my. They don't have Fran Mil Reyes in here. I'm working on my what's it called? The tiers contest.
Okay. But what do you think of the Angels today? They're a team that's coming in a little bit higher than the public. Do you have any interest in any of those lefties against Bieber?
I mean, it really would be Ohtani, and that's it.
No Cole Calhoun?
All right, Cole Calhoun. But here's the thing: if
Brian Goodwin leading off.
Oh, Brian, former National Goodwin.
Yeah.
So Goodwin forever a fifth outfielder. I don't know. I guess leading. He's got okay pop, okay stolen bases, crappy hitting overall, but he plays decent defense. So he's the perfect fourth or fifth outfielder. That he's leading off is a little bit shocking. But I guess if you want him, Ohtani, and Calhoun, but you're filling up your whole outfield with Angels. Wait, there's a plot in this somewhere. Now, Cole Calhoun, have you looked at his home runs or his power splits?
I have not.
He gets a lot off lefties, which is kind of interesting. Same crappy batting average, but his power sort of. But he does have more power. He has more power against lefties than one would expect. But you still definitely want him against righties. And usually he gets benched anyway for Upton against lefties, but I just wanted to see that.
I just got the question in chat. Why Reyes over Puig? I don't really have an answer for that. It's mostly coin flip.
Because Puig is going to go down swinging. Puig
is 8th in the model. Reyes is 13th. Puig is actually ahead of Reyes. I don't really have a reason. I just wanted to pick Franmil Reyes over Puig.
All right, last 680 at bats. This is Calhoun against righties. A 310 WOBA, a 210 ISO. Against lefties, he has a 320 WOBA and a 180 ISO. So he's almost neutral at this point.
And I should have took Shohei Ohtani for my home run pick. That dude is going to go yard today. I feel pretty confident in that. I'm not going to change it, but if I had to take a second one, it would be Ohtani.
I would still go with Cano. Damn it, Cano! He's gonna haunt me. I know it. I can feel it.
Okay.
It's just, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
So I'll hit my biggest over the field, biggest under the field guys in terms of stacks. 3 stacks that I'm most over the field on: Astros, Indians, White Sox. 3 stacks that I'm most under the field on: Brewers, Orioles, Twins. Is there anything that I just said that stands out to you?
No, I think those could, but I know how you play now, and I think that makes sense. I'm a little surprised with your White Sox, but that's a function of Smiley getting popular. Explain. I know we get a lot of different viewers on the weekends. Explain what you're doing there to them and how the leverage works that way.
So this is a unique one in that I would have been getting the White Sox anyway. They come in rank-wise 5th overall. They also have the benefit of, at least, I'll speak on DraftKings for the example. They have the benefit of facing a starting pitcher that has 35% expected ownership. So I think that they're good just in general. And they get the benefit of facing a starting pitcher with 35% ownership. If the White Sox happen to be a high-scoring stack today, not only do you know that 35% of the lineups are already dead because of the ownership on Smiley. Those 35% of the lineups are not going to win for the day if the White Sox end up being one of the, let's say, the 3 highest scoring stacks. Smiley will be dead in the water. Those lineups will be dead in the water. So then I am just playing White Sox lineups against the other 65% of the field. So that's another reason why I would want to boost them up and get to more exposure. I can double dip. I think they're good, and I get the double benefit of being better in a smaller field once those lineups die.
Right, and I think that's where I think this is an underrated thing that the average gamer doesn't look at, is that level. They think of where's the field and do I want to be over or under it?
Right.
They don't think about that next step. Now, this does not work against every pitcher. It needs to be a volatile pitcher.
If this were 35% here, but that number was the Verlander ownership, way different story. I'm more than okay going heavy against a chalk pitcher that I don't think is very good to begin with. Drew Smiley is getting this ownership because he is $6,600, not because he's talented. That's the big key for me. You can be good and owned, but if you're owned because of your price tag, that is a very different reason. And that is what Drew Smiley is happening to Drew Smiley right now. He's being owned for his price tag. The problem really in all of this is that the White Sox stink.
Yeah. But you know which guys you want to take. You'd want those
right
righties.
Yeah, for sure.
They're spread out in the lineup, though. That's the next problem.
Yeah. I'm actually under the field on Eloy Jimenez, which is kind of frustrating, but I'm just massively over everywhere else. Go White Sox today. Chirinos or wait. Or Gurriel. Not that Chirinos. That makes more sense to me. I was like, what in the world? Why are we picking a pitcher or Yuli Gurriel? Now I get it. I have 10% Chirinos on FanDuel. I have 11 of Gurriel. I have Gurriel grading out slightly ahead of Chirinos. Same ownership, so the answer is Gurriel.
Would you end up with Chirinos on DK pitching? Pitcher, Yanni Chirinos.
He's my second most exposed pitcher behind Verlander.
Really?
Yeah, I have 21% Chirinos. 7,900 opens up all of the bats that you could possibly want. I do wish that I had more Verlander, though. I'm not going to lie. But there's not a huge difference between, like, if I'm not going to have 50, I'm cool with just being around the field. Anthony asking, does that count for FanDuel as well? It does. 12:51, 14 minutes to go, and so far, no wonky nonsense. Gotta love it. Friend of the program, Siege, not exactly fond of your Alex Bregman home run pick. Doesn't think you're going out on much of a limb.
Who says that?
Siege.
Come on. I'm coming off Nelson Cruz, and I'm coming off Jordan in the lefty. I'm comfortable. I'm the guy that's taken freaking Dan Vogelbach 8 times.
You're the guy that's winning. You're the guy that's winning. That is really all that matters, you know? We're not really in any position to tell you what's what. Bregman. Now, if Spags took Bregman, we can bust his balls the entire time.
Bregman's on 25% of my lineups. He's one of my highest one-offs.
Ooh, yeah. Let's look at my individuals. Most owned hitter for me, that's Justin. Francisco Lindor, Biggio second, Bregman third. But I'm also under the field on Bregman. The most over the field I am on anyone, Yolmer Sanchez.
Really? That's an interesting one.
Well, he's unowned, so those numbers add up really quickly when you're owned at 0.5%. Yeah, that's just more of a function of lack of ownership. Guy that I'm most over the field on that is getting owned is Francisco Lindor. I'm very happy with my exposures. Guy I'm least under the field on, Trent Grisham. Grisham, 23% ownership on FanDuel, 33 on DK. I have very little. Basically, I have no Adam Frazier, no VR, very little Whit Merrifield, even though I have some Royals. I'm happy. I'm content with my exposures. It's going to be a good day. If you were doing single entries on FanDuel, would you try to jam in Verlander or go to a lower cost pitcher to get some bats? I would certainly be starting with Verlander, given his ownership on FanDuel.
I would as well.
I wouldn't go crazy. Like I would be okay stepping down to Bieber if I needed 800. I would go to Sonny Gray next after that, and then I would drop all the way to Chirinos. But no, I would be starting my build with Verlander and trying to get to something I liked.
That would be an entirely different answer if we had Texas or Colorado on the slate.
Yes.
I will say that.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you'll be the same on that. But.
Do I have any Verlander Gray lineups? I would imagine I do, but let's find out. Verlander Gray. I have 2 Verlander Gray lineups. One of them is a Rays 5-man, Astros 3-man. The other is a Rays 5-man, White Sox 3-man. So, yes, I do have 2 Verlander Sonny Gray lines. Yes, I said lines.
This is why I'm glad I did the upload now. I've got a problem with my file.
Ooh, that's not good.
No, it's not good. But I have time. This is where you just download the new template. So I sort my template and I move all my ticket entries into one spot, my winner take alls into one spot. And sometimes when you do that, if you're not doing it correctly, you leave another. You cut them. You copy them instead of cutting them.
Yeah.
And it says you have a duplicate entry. So when you get that one, it won't upload your entire file. It just says, yeah, one of these is duplicate. You're like, no, which one? So the cleanest way is just to bring your file back down.
I've got a fix for you there.
Oh, what do you have?
So this is the DK one?
Yes.
Okay, let me open my file up just so I can speak through like the exact way of, or the exact what I would do here. So, all right. So what I would do to try to find out how I jack that up.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it is like trapping me in this file. It is not letting me do anything in this file. So I would sort then by entry ID, the column A, because those will all be unique. And then you should be able to...
think about that. I never expand it. Duh.
Yeah. Every one of those will be unique. So they would then be in order. You can then, I mean, you can remove duplicate lineups or something like that if you want to. But that would be the first way that I would want to check.
Okay, that's good.
Give it a quick scan to see if any of those two numbers are back to back.
Yeah, and you could always run a quick pivot off it too.
Yep.
And just pivot table for those that aren't familiar with Excel.
So just in case you don't want to have to go through all the work again. And then if you, Alex said, if you go to the data tab in Excel, you can remove duplicates and select the entry ID row. Yep. That's exactly where I was going.
Oh, actually that would be a good one too. I mean, you might lose one of your lineups or something, but it's better than not having your entire file upload.
Yep.
Good call. See? Look at that. That is a valuable thing. We got 3 different ways to solve it.
You can also, in conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, duplicate values. That'll just highlight everything in green for you.
The downside of that is if you're going between Excel and CSV.
Oh, you would only have to do it for a split second, just enough to figure out where that duplicate value is. Then you can just go delete it and it'll go away. You don't need to maintain the conditional formatting, but if you want to find it as fast as possible,
gotcha.
Highlight column A, add conditional formatting for duplicate values, and you'll be good to go. It'll immediately just highlight whatever cells were in red, delete that row, hop back in, everything will be fine.
Look at that. 4 ways to fix the problem now.
Yeah. We're here for you.
Yeah.
Vlad or Bregman? That's a question from...
really? We're really going there. Come on, it's Bregman. I had the chance to choose between them, and I chose Bregman.
I have similar amounts overall, but Bregman is certainly the play there.
All right. Now, to not be flippant, I think you were looking at a good spot there. With Guerrero, I have 8% Guerrero. He is about 10? I haven't refreshed. He's about 10 on the field. Bregman, as I mentioned, I've got 23%. He's 16 on the field. So I'd still go Bregman personally.
I agree. 12:59, 6 minutes to go until lock. Do you have your lineups in yet, or are you still working?
I've got them in.
Okay. Do you want to touch on the late slate?
Not until lock, but yes, I will.
Okay.
It's just easier in case something weird happens. Here's
we can stop talking, right? Just in case something weird happens.
I get out of the rhythm. I'm not good at multitasking. I'm better at focusing. Fair enough. Whit Merrifield, 25%, Grisham 20, Soler 16, Grichuk 13, Harper 12. So I did not get very much. I got Franmil Reyes at 9, Puig at 9, and I forced in some Cleveland lineups with those guys goosed. Bichette 37. Yikes. Bregman 23. Lindor 13. And Bregman is multi-position eligible. Where is Cano? Cano at 7%, baby.
Yes.
My backup plan. Jesus Aguilar, my number 1 first baseman at 15%. CJ Cron, 14.5. The Smoke Monster, 13.2. You'll like this. Jose Abreu, 10.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I don't get the appeal for Smiley. I really don't. Dude's bad. Are the White Sox just that much worse?
We have a Chris Rendon home run. Eric Thames.
Okay.
Or is it Thames? I don't even know. It's the River Thames.
It's whatever you want it to be.
Is it the River Thames? I don't know.
Smiley this year, 265 x ISO against lefties, 231 against righties. That does not get any better if you add in 2018.
So I'm playing 35% Smiley.
I truly don't understand. What are we paying for here? Seriously, are the White Sox just that bad?
50% Verlander.
This is not the first time that Drew Smiley has been chalk since he went to Philly. I don't get it. Like this guy gets absolutely blasted by everything. I love it. Go White Sox. They'll probably have 0 runs.
I want to see. Can you name the teams that Smiley has played for? There's one I think you're not going to get.
I have no idea. I can't even remember who the last team he played for was.
Oh, come on. It's Texas. That was this year.
I would have said the Tigers.
Oh, that's the one I didn't think you'd get.
That one would have been the one I got.
All right. So he played for the Tigers 3 years, Tampa Bay 3 years, and then was out of the league for 3 years. To be fair, 2 years. But injury was involved.
Yeah, so I would have gotten the Tigers obviously pretty easily. If you were like, you have to answer this question immediately for your life. What was the last team Drew Smiley was on before the Phillies? I'd be dead. I would have said Tigers. I don't pay attention to this stuff. These guys are just names. I wish it just said like, oh, pitcher AX774 is going today for the Phillies. Like, oh, okay, cool. I have no idea. I didn't know that Scooter Gennett got traded to the Giants. I want to see, like, my memory's garbage for this stuff. I don't need to know. It just shows up for you. They don't hide this stuff. Tom Brady filing an contract extension. Be great. What a dude.
Didn't he is he 43 or 42 now?
I have no idea. Whatever he is, looks great. Aging like fine wine. I'm over here aging like milk.
Oh, can I quickly build one hand-built lineup with White Sox? Because now you've got me. Doing this in a single entry.
People are asking, like, what else do you want if you're playing Verlander? I would play Joe Musgrove over Drew Smiley. One of them is facing the Mets. The other one is in a bandbox that people love hitting in. I would just greatly prefer Joe Musgrove. I have them equal right now, but that's just because it's a fade of Smiley. What are the odds Smiley gets the win? If he gets 20 DK at that point, I'm stoked. Yeah, everyone's stoked if Drew Smiley puts up 20 today. Well, everybody that owns Smiley, that's for sure. And White Sox owners are not very happy. The likelihood of Drew Smiley putting up 20 is very low. What do you think the odds are that Drew Smiley scores 20 fantasy points today on DraftKings? 10%?
I would say that was the number that popped in my head.
Yeah. He's coming off of 46 and 43. Right, that's FanDuel, never mind. Like, what in the world? That's a monstrous number. What is he out of recently? Drew Smiley. Where's your name? There we go. Smiley, 26.75 and 23.9 in his last 2 starts. Yeah, not confident that's going to happen again.
What, you think giving up 19 home runs in 64 innings this year is bad?
Prior to that, negative 1.3, 12.35, negative 2, negative 8, negative 1, 14, 8, 3, 14. Those are the only 2 good games he's had all year. And they just happen to be right now. He's 6,600, not 4,500 like he was that first day.
Premium chat would like you to know that you age like Jabba the Hutt.
I don't know what that means. I don't watch those garbage movies.
Oh, he was a rather gigantic slug-like creature.
I was gonna say, doesn't he look like a gigantic turd? He looks like the turd emoji, sort of.
Some would say that as well.
Okay, yeah, I've never seen it.
How about Pizza the Hut? Did you ever see Spaceballs?
Yes.
There you go.
Forgot that was a thing, though. It also makes me want Pizza Hut. And we're locked.
What about ludicrous speed?
The Teslas?
No, that's instead of warp speed or hyperspace, they have ludicrous speed.
That's a mode in Teslas.
Is it really?
Yeah, ludicrous mode. It's when you go to 0 to 60 in 2 seconds or whatever.
Oh,
Actually, they have like another one that's faster than that now too. But yeah, ludicrous mode is how you go like ridiculously fast in a Tesla. But we are locked. Hit us with the late slate thoughts.
the late slate. Hurry up, quick. Let me get over here to it because there's kind of two. So on DK, you got the two gamer. It's San Francisco, Colorado, and Detroit, Texas. Play all the hitters. Just play all the hitters. Mix and match. You got crappy pitchers. You're gonna have to play two of Freeland, Beatty, Zimmerman, and Pedro Payano. Okay. It's a home run contest. Now, there's only a 3-game late slate. You've got Adam Wainwright going against Oakland. That actually bodes well for him because they really only have Grossman and Matt Olson from the left side, and he's been pretty good against righties this year in his age 37 season. You have Tanner Roark making his debut for the Oakland Athletics. I actually did not know he was with the Athletics until I saw this, Josh. So clearly Cincinnati, needed to make room for Justin Bieber, needed to make room for Trevor Bauer. But going against Roark, I would really, really, really like to have Matt Carpenter. He is back. I think he was entirely hitless in his minor league rehab stints. I don't care. He's 3,700 leading off. I think Goldschmidt against Tanner Roark is good as well. The other game that you're going to get, the other games you're going to get are Chris Paddock going against the Dodgers. I don't want that. I'll take Kenta Maeda at 7,000. He's going to be wildly popular on DK. Give me all the lefties for the Dodgers. That should be no shock. Taylor Clark, who Adam thinks is probably the worst pitcher in the major leagues, is going against the Nationals. Give me all the Nationals, particularly the lefties, Soto, Adams. I'd even take Parra, and I'm hoping Yan Gomes is in the lineup since Kurt Suzuki was last night. Rendon is fine as well. And that's it. Just 3 games today. It's all about the bats today, outside of Verlander.
There you go, everybody. So, perfect time for everyone to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and a final shout out to our presenting sponsor, FantasyDraft. Highly recommended you go to FantasyDraft.com. Use the promo code AWESEMO. You can get a 7-day free trial in which you will not pay anything, any fee whatsoever on your first $1,000 of entry fees. You cannot beat that. It's as good as you're going to find. Anytime they're not taking any off the top for you, you're much better off. Any final thoughts for you, Emac, on this lovely Sunday?
No, I'm good.
There we go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Who's back tomorrow? Jake and Adam will be back in the morning for you guys. And we'll start off another week of content. Best of luck, everybody. We'll talk to you later.